Morning, everyone. How we doing today? Today's what, Sunday, I think. When you stay home all day, the days kind of blend together, right? It's kind of weird. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to talk today, at least in this opening section, about unemployment. I'm starting to see, I guess first and foremost, I kind of warned you this was coming. 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I indicated we were going to have a rough couple of weeks, and we have had it. Right, the new unemployment claims coming in at roughly 10 million in a couple of weeks. I expect this next week to be about 5 million or so. I'm hoping we've seen the peak. I'm not really confident in that. It might just be more wishful thinking because, again, what we're going through now is something none of us have seen in our lifetime. And I hope to never see again, let's be clear. But I do think we need to take all these unemployment numbers with at least a small grain of salt. I'm starting to see too many people default to these horrible numbers and claim we are in for a depression. Certainly, let's be clear, a depression is not out of the question. I've been very clear on this topic. I think as long as the federal government stays engaged and essentially pays the average American citizen a wage to stay home, which is what they are asking us to do, we will avoid a depression. It won't be fun. It will come with tons of pain, but we can absolutely avoid a depression. And we are doing the right things to avoid a depression. But I want to be clear about these unemployment claims because I want you to look at them, at least understand how I look at them. First off, you can't argue with 10 million new unemployment claims. Those are real. So I'm not saying those don't exist or they're fake news or anything like that. And frankly, they're going to get worse. But typically, unemployment claims really mean lost jobs. Lost. That's why at the peak of the last Great Recession, I think we had a record 661 new unemployment claims. I think it was a month of February, it might have been March. But those were lost jobs. Now, I'm not saying all 10 million jobs that have been, claims now will be jobs later, but a lot of them will be. Even if it's 50% of them, unemployment claims are halved. Again, remember what makes this time unique. We have asked significant segments of our service-based economy to stay home. We have injured hundreds of thousands of small businesses because they don't have customers and they rely on foot traffic. We have injured them. Now we're trying to help them, and I'm sure we'll put out more help, but nothing these businesses did really created this. It's not true job losses was what I'm getting at. And that's why, I am confident when this, first we roll over infections and mortality. Then we get this under control. We set up easy and fast testing because that's how we get this economy, that's how we get this door open again, is we have tests that can be done in 5 minutes. We establish staying at home if you're feeling sick. That's how we open this economy again, and that's how we bring people back to work. As soon as that starts to happen, we are going to see millions of people go back to work. Again, we have asked them to stay home. So that's why I look at all these unemployment claims. I feel horrible. It's going to be rough for several weeks, if not months. But again, they're not true job losses. Now, we will have hundreds, if not thousands of companies never open again. I agree, we could have 50% less restaurants when we finally open again. But that said, does anybody think we won't open brand new restaurants? So, that's a good question. There was a question that just came in is if this continues past April, so let's say into May and June, do I think they will suspend mortgage payments? I think that was the question. And the answer there is probably not, because I think what we're going to do is we're going to start sending checks to the average American every month. That's what I think is going to happen. I think what we're going to do is send $1,200 or whatever some number to the average American citizens, as long as this is a national emergency, which is then going to be sort of communicated: put food in your fridge and pay your rent. I think that's what they're going to do. Uh, there could be sections of the real estate market that go on a hiatus. Um, I agree with Dr. Fauci. I've been calling for a national 30-day shutdown for quite a while now. I think that's the only way you get ahead of this. You can't do this piecemeal stuff. I think it's leaving it up to the states to roll out. When I think it was Alabama just yesterday or the day before, governor said, "Oh, I didn't know it was contagious." I'm like, come on, what are you doing? That was perhaps the stupidest thing I've read in my lifetime, that he said that. I think it was 2 days ago. I couldn't believe that. But yeah, I think we need to have a shutdown. Otherwise, it's just going to be longer. It's just going to be months of staying at home, which is going to be interesting. As far as no deaths, I think that's actually the wrong variable. We have to get testing done. We have to set up infrastructure. We have to create locations where people can go, not hospitals, because we don't want to create additional infections. Little pop-up tents or whatever they are, maybe in Walgreens or whatever. We got to do something to test people, and it's got to be 5 minutes or less, right? So that's what we need. We need testing. We need testing, testing, testing. When you look at what's happened in South Korea and some of these other admittedly smaller countries, that's how they started to open up their countries. And then the other one we absolutely have to watch is Switzerland. You guys know what's going on in Switzerland? They've essentially said, you know what? We're just going to do herd immunity. So they're letting the virus run amok, right? They have limited gatherings to 500, I think. So they're not doing concerts and sporting events and things of mass gatherings. But their restaurants are open. Last I checked, their schools are open. It will be an interesting social experiment. So it will be interesting to see what happens in Switzerland. Because right now, their numbers aren't apples to apples, so it's very misleading. So it's something that we need to do. We need to watch Switzerland to see if there's anything there. As far as help for people and limits on income, 70K I think was put there. I've also heard 150K. I think this just needs to be adjusted. Yeah, I think we need to, the longer the federal government tells us to stay home, they need to step up and pay, right? It's not our choice to stay home, at least in most cases. So I think those are things that they're going to have to talk about in phase 4 or bill number 4, right? So I think if you make more than 150K and you have your job, I think you should be thankful. So I think there's a lot of things going on. Oh, what are you saying? We're gonna be lost. Are you saying you're unemployed? Is that what we're saying? I'm not sure what this is going on. Oh, what if we lose the job? Well, unemployment kicks in. And again, I think we need to realize that unemployment is supercharged, where you used to get $200 a week, now you get 800. So they're doing the right things. I think unemployment could be looked at again and could be raised if required. Again, this is about taking care of I don't want to, the bottom sounds wrong, but citizens, right? Average Americans need to be taken care of. 2008 was about taking care of the banks. That's not today. Rental properties, if I remember right, I think you have some Airbnbs by the beach, if I remember some past communications. That's a tough spot right now for sure. Ask for forbearance for sure. If you have one rental, as of Friday, I've collected about 60% of my rent across hundreds of units. So we're tracking okay. But again, this is why we got to take care of the people. The people need food and shelter. Food and shelter. We don't need extras. We need to limp through this. This is really a time of war. Everyone is being asked to sacrifice. Um, yeah. So this is going to be tough. And when in doubt, ask for forbearance. Ask for these things. But if your tenant's paying, pay your mortgage. Stop your mortgage payments. I don't agree with that. If your tenants are paying, pay your mortgage. I did. I paid my mortgage. Everything. I paid everything on the 30th. I think might have been the 31st. One of those dates. As long as my tenants pay, my mortgage get paid. It's that simple. Um, when if I have a true hardship in one of my apartment buildings or some of my rental houses, and I can document it, I'll ask for help. But until that point, I'm gonna keep plugging along. I expect April to be okay, which is the month we're in. I think May gets a little sketchy, but if this goes on till June without further aid from the federal government, June's the month that I'm afraid of June. June, hundreds of units rent 3 months into this thing. I'm afraid. I will freely admit that. Um, I'm nervous about June. June could be interesting. June could be interesting. So that's what I got there. I do have some notes from today I want to talk about. First up, Warren Buffett. I think I talked about Buffett yesterday selling stakes in Delta and Southwest. Actually, one of the viewers actually made a great comment. So there are rules out there when you own more than 10% of a company. You have regulations and things of that nature. So it looks like Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway sold shares to get under the 10% threshold, which means he could be getting set up to do something huge. It's a good theory, and Warren Buffett is a smart man with deep pockets. So how I read that, because again, I believe he had investments in the 6 major airlines. I believe it's not out of the realm of capabilities that Buffett has already claimed his favorite airlines. By selling Delta and Southwest and getting under 10%, I think he could be making a big play for Delta and Southwest. I think that makes sense. That was a great suggestion by one of our viewers yesterday. He made a comment on yesterday or the day before his video. So thank you for that. Oil is going to be in for a rough go on Monday. They're talking about $10 oil. $10 oil. I mean, that's going to bring gas down to like 75 cents or something stupid. Russia and Saudi Arabia are on a path of mutual destruction. We have filled up our reserves, or soon will. Our oil, our frackers are in disarray. You can't be profitable in the U.S. As long as they want to be shipping out $10 oil, we should just shut it down. I mean, shut it down and build more storage capacity, right? That was crazy. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But speaking of gas, I think I've driven less than 10 miles in a month. I haven't taken my car out of the garage in like 2.5 weeks. It's crazy. And I live in California. We drive everywhere. So, yeah, we're not going anywhere. So it's pretty weird. It's really a demand problem at this point. Another thing is I think the major life-changing structure after this event is going to be in retail. Malls, this is retail apocalypse on another level. Retail is going to be in trouble. Simon Properties, the largest owner of malls, I think they have 200 malls. I've read some articles. They talk about having a year of cash to get all these done, but I just don't know. I don't know what you do with malls that reopen half full. Do you just spend a year kind of waiting for the next new retailer to come in? Maybe. Do we change how we shop? Right? Is ordering online just taking that next leap, or when we get out of this, we don't want to shop online anymore and we want to go back to the malls? So I don't know. I'm looking at that Simon Properties REIT, or I guess it's a REIT, and going, man, I don't know. That's interesting. Another thing that's changed is advertising. I think Facebook, Twitter, Google are all in trouble. They're all reliant on small business. When you go back and look at their past earnings report, they're very dominant in small business. They're going to be in trouble, at least for a while. But it's all advertising. Billboards, nobody's driving. Digital, basic cable, newspapers. Advertising is one of those things people are cutting back on because, again, why advertise your restaurant if it's closed? Why do all these things? So, no, I have not applied for any SBA loans, nor do I plan to. I didn't catch the rest of that. I'm sorry. Then we're talking about sports leagues. If you've been watching my channel for any length of times, you know I am a season ticket holder to the Golden State Warriors. I gotta admit, I'm looking forward to having sports come back. I think, again, just like malls, it's going to be different, right? You know, are we going to be selling out arenas? You know, I think Golden State, I think the Chase Center has like 20,000 seats. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do that again. I don't know if we're going to want to be around people like that. Are we going to have to take our temperatures before we go in? Are we going to wear masks, everyone? I mean, it's going to be different when we get outside of this. So it will be interesting. I am looking forward to next Thursday. I want to see if we get under that 6.6 million new unemployment claims. That's going to be a big deal. I'm hoping for around 5, maybe 5.5. But it could be just another monster number. But we've got to get by this. I really do hope we start. I hope we do a couple of things. I hope we have a national shutdown. This piecemeal stuff is crazy. I hope we do another bill that communicates that we will send $1,200 to Americans every month, that this is a national emergency. We have to remove stress and risk from the populace. If we don't, this gets bad really fast, and a depression is not out of the question. And then lastly, I think we need to start already painting a vision of how we open the economy, right? We're going to do unlimited testing. We're going to do this antibody thing we're talking about. We're going to, first release, everybody can drive 5 miles from home, and then 10. I don't know what it is, but these are things we have to start talking about. We have to start seeing the end of this thing. And I think we need to talk about $1 trillion or $2 trillion infrastructure bill. We need to get after this. We need to get after this. So it's something we just need to realize is coming. The earlier we do it, the sooner we get out there. And yes, when they announce the 30-day shutdown, it should come with extras, such as everybody gets 30-day grace period on debt. I think it was it Italy that did this first, like 3 weeks ago? Just canceled. It didn't cancel. Cancel is the wrong word. Postponed all debt. If we come out of this with a national 30-day shutdown, it should include a bullet point that says, no debt is due or something like that. This is war. In times of war, you need to do what is unexpected. We need to paint the vision that it's mutual suffering. Everybody is being asked to suffer. And you're doing this for the good of everyone. If we do this piecemeal stuff, it will be months and we will be crazy. Yes, this is absolutely worse than 9/11. No question. So we will see. We got to decide. Are we willing to be uncomfortable? Right. We are a free society. We have the right to do stupid things if we're willing to suffer the consequences. That's how I was raised. Right. You can do what you want, but the consequences are real. I think in this case we have a national. I don't know if war is the right thing to say, but it's the only thing I can come up with. We are all being asked to participate in this war together. The federal government needs to take a leadership role and say, you know what? We're going to implore the 300 million Americans to stay home for 30 days. In order to do that, we're going to send you $1,200 for food. We are going to cancel all debt for not cancel, wrong word. Delay, postpone debt for 30 days. We're going to goose unemployment again. We will get through this. And oh, by the way, at the end of 30 days, we will have infrastructure and triage centers set up all across America. They will be housed by The military, maybe. I don't care who houses them, but they will be there for 3 months where everybody gets tested. We have these antibody things. We have these 5-minute tests. And if you are already recovered, you are free to go within 5 miles of your home or whatever, 10 miles, whatever. And let's get this thing going. So that's what needs to happen. We need to have leadership at the top. We need to stop giving it to the governors of the state because, as Alabama proved earlier, we have some stupid governors. I still can't believe he said, "Oh my God, this is contagious. I can't believe there are asymptomatic people that can make other people contagious." What is he not literate or something? It's crazy. So at the end of the day, that's what I think. I hope you have a wonderful day. It is Sunday. Have some fun. Make some memories. Don't go stir crazy. Also, remember to exercise. Too many people are watching TV and stuff. Make sure you exercise. Do some sit-ups, push-ups, planks, air squats even. Make sure your body is staying healthy, okay? Have fun.